Behind me is a 1962 Austin Healey BT7 Mark II 3000. Really cool car. I'm excited to give you guys a quick tour of it. So when this car first came into my possession, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I've seen British sports cars before, and nothing really did anything for me. I like some of the early MGs, but this body style really started to grow on me. A couple things I like most about this car. First, the grille. Really cool grille. Really unique. I love the teeth. I love how shiny those teeth are. Really symmetrical. Just really gives the front end a ton of character, which is quintessential for this type of car, for this body style. Second thing I really love how the wheels in the back are really flush with the body. Not a lot of old cars are like that. There's always a ton of huge fender gaps and gaps between where the tire would be and the wheel, but the designers of this car really got it right. There's hardly any gaps at all between the rear wheel and the body, which looks really cool, the quarter panel there. The front, there's quite a bit of a gap, which is how they originally rode. If this was my car, I'd probably lower the front a little bit and make the gap even front to rear, but it isn't, and so it's going to stay how it is. The other thing I like about this car is obviously having a back seat. There are some versions of this car that don't have a back seat, even though those were more expensive. They're more rare. I couldn't imagine not having a little bit of a back seat. I mean, you'd have to be the tiniest person in the world. The other thing about this car that's kind of unique is it's not the original numbers matching engine. Now, for any other car, that would be a hit against its price. That would be not a good thing. And in this case, it is actually a good thing because the engine that's in there is what's called a gold seal engine, which, as I learned, is a pretty rare factory reproduced engine that was held to really high standards. And so even the enthusiasts, if it's not the numbers matching engine, a gold seal engine is right there, if not even more, make it more expensive, make it more valuable anyways from a resale standpoint. The third thing I like about the car is the interior. A really cool banjo wheel. I love the way the dash lays out with those analog gauges. Really cool, old school, just classic European sports car. I also love on the dash that overdrive switch, which is something I had never actually seen before. Not actually on the transmission, not where the shifter is, but an actual switch on the dash that activates overdrive. Really cool. The car came with 3 carbs, which is really cool. 3 carburetors. I can just imagine how much of a tuning nightmare that could be when you get under the hood to try to actually get it tuned, but super cool that it has 3 carbs on it. I just love the lines. I love the emblems on this. I love the style. I love just the classic lines of this car. The interior is super cool with that black vinyl interior, manual transmission, just an overall cool, rare car. I can see why these are reproduced and why there's such high demand for these because the people that are into these cars really love them. Again, this isn't exactly in my wheelhouse, but super cool car nonetheless. The car is not a runner right now. The last time it ran was when it made that fire from the carburetor on the hood. So that was the last time that it ran. I was going to troubleshoot it and figure out what the deal with the wiring. The owner of this car, I think, is just going to sell it the way that it is. We're still talking that out to see what's going to happen with the car, but I think it's going to be available pretty soon. Overall, really solid car, almost no rust at all, no rust on the body at all. I've been underneath the car, and it looks like 0 rust, and the tiny little bit of rust that I did see was just surface rust. So overall, this is a really solid car. I hope you guys like seeing something a little bit different today. This channel is all about classic cars, so if that's something that you're into, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button on this video and stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.